Wow, it has been a long time, hasn't it? I know, you probably thought Hometown Hero was dead, didn't you? Well, I'm happy to tell you that it isn't, but I'm also happy to tell you that it is. Let me explain. You see, a lot has changed since I first started working on this project, and as a result, it's gone through a complete redesign since the last devlog, which I'll of course link in the description below. My vision for the game has evolved in ways I'd honestly never anticipated, and what I want to convey as a creative has deepened. I really dug into my inspirations to shape what it's becoming. While it's still about exploring and recapturing that childhood sense of wonder, it's now also been expanded with elements inspired by my favorite games growing up: Kingdom Hearts, Pokemon, .hack, RuneScape, and more. The game still captures that feeling of discovery, adventure, and nostalgia, but it's also taking on new dimensions that reflect my growth as a storyteller and game designer. With that in mind, I've decided to clean things up, go all in on my desire for it, and give the project a fresh coat of paint and a new name. Hometown Hero is, drumroll please, called Twilight Explorers. I'm terrible at elevator pitches, so here's a slightly longer take at the overview for the game, knowing that what I say will likely hardly scratch the surface of what I'm going for. Okay, here we go. It's been a long time coming, but you guys deserve this information. Twilight Explorers is a cozy, stylized, open-world action RPG, where you'll travel between a network of vibrant towns and cities, each separated by a scenic short hike through diverse biomes. Along the way, you'll engage in light survival mechanics, uncover ancient mysteries, and explore ruins teeming with secrets tied both to the past and the future of your world. With RuneScape-style skills and progression, battling, trading, and befriending other NPCs who move about the world dynamically, and more, you'll spend your time studying and improving your mind, body, and spirit, and climbing the tournament ranks in hopes of passing your exams and graduating from the academy. Your time in Adva, a planet shattered by an unknown catastrophe, offers you a blend of growth and discovery wrapped in a heartfelt and vibrant adventure. Meanwhile, Kairos Corp, a global leader in innovation and progress, has revolutionized life on Adva. It also runs the academy where aspiring guardians like yourself train to protect the world in its delicate balance. Their groundbreaking Soulstream operating system helps trainers track their alignment in mind, body, and spirit through a technology called SoulSync. Kairos Corp ensures that you're prepared for the challenges ahead, equipping you with the resources needed to thrive in a constantly shifting world, and perhaps to prepare for the inevitable. Strange creatures known as shells have captured the attention of Kairos Corp scientists. These enigmatic beings appear throughout Adva, and as a trainer, you'll play a vital role in studying them. Through battles and data collection, you'll report your findings back to your professors at the academy, helping you to unravel their mysteries. Each encounter with the shell is a test of your skill and strategy, and your work contributes to a larger effort to understand these fascinating but dangerous creatures. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll probably remember that the old game featured turn-based combat, a semi-top-down camera, and a simplified aesthetic. Now, I've implemented real-time combat inspired by Kingdom Hearts. What I feel makes this unique is that you'll be swinging around a non-lethal weapon, which was originally a foam bokken, or training sword. Now, these swords will be modular, non-lethal technological marvels of engineering, brought to you, of course, by Kairos Corp. Originally inspired by struggle swords from Kingdom Hearts 2, the standard issue Kairos Corp training sword is made out of hard plastic and has a dull edge meant to bruise and knock out other trainers, as well as shells, and it can be slotted with tech upgrades. A new grip, hilt, blade, and even a keychain or charm for added bonuses via the Swordsmith station. You'll also be able to apply stickers you collect based on your accomplishments to add a personal flair. More on that one day, but for now, you should know that it will likely take on the form of something like the multi-tool upgrade and repair screen from No Man's Sky. One more thing. In Twilight Explorers, cumulative stats of your soul stream and each data point collected by Kairos Corp are digitized and form a barrier around your character to keep you from getting knocked out. Essentially, what you do and how you conduct yourself in the game, from your physical fitness to your social interactions, personality quirks, which you'll choose at the beginning of the game, by the way, during character creation, and overall composition of your mind, body, and spirit all determine how well you can stand up against threats, and it's up to you to upkeep it and improve it over time. This is represented by the blue bar at the top of the screen, known as your barrier. Though it recharges outside of battle, or when you're resting in your room, or camping in nature, taking too much damage will make your barrier fragile, and then it'll break, leaving your 3 hearts exposed. Lose your 3 hearts, which don't recharge unless you visit the local soul center to get patched up, and you'll faint. Adva is a planet with a pretty unique and eclectic mix of themes. On one hand, you'll explore original towns and cities inspired by the diversity of those found in Pokemon games, as well as original biomes and natural mysteries inspired by those often seen in its anime. This is just a point of reference, of course. This is a world I've been developing on paper for the past decade and a half, so I have plenty of ideas for how to make it fun and exciting. Twilight Explorers takes place in just one region of Adva, shielded from the more dangerous threats of the planet by a mountain range, and it's a perfect place for young trainers to learn and grow as they graduate and become part of the Blackleaf Guard, an elite militia that protects the people from shells of all shapes, sizes, and types, both known and unknown. Start in Orangewood Town, a suburban Western-style neighborhood. Not that kind of Western, I just mean sort of Americanized. I see a lot of games go for that Japanese aesthetic, like Pokemon games have. But I wanted something more akin to how I grew up, the neighborhoods that I hung out in and had my own little adventures. Visit Lakeshore, a coastal resort town full of art and inspiration. Take a ferry to Seabright, mine ores and process them in Steel Point, trek through the desert to Jinzan, or head north through the mysterious Dead Tendrils Meadow to Xeno Labs on the fringes of Wintermorn. There's way more, and I hope to do it all justice, so I just hope you stick with me and watch this world develop over time. I mentioned Soul Centers before. These are kind of like Poke Centers, but are more so open-air park shelters equipped with the latest Kairos Corp technology. Benches for resting, vending machines where you can restore your stamina with delicious snacks, an information board to find your next location, a swordsmith station to repair the wear and tear on your sword, and a nurse that can patch you up if you get too badly beaten in your adventures. I know the different visual aspects in the world seem incoherent at this time, but I promise there's a massive reason for all that. It just takes time to make sense of it all. I've been through a lot since we last connected, and I'm ashamed to say that development on Hometown Hero, the old version of Twilight Explorers, had come to a complete halt right after that devlog you watched, as life had proven to be more complicated, interrupting just about as much as you'd imagine. Luckily, I've made it clear from the start that this game is a passion project that I would likely be working on part-time between my day job. Since then, I've changed jobs, gone through a major depression, been in the hospital for a massive panic attack, and fought my way back out of that pit, among many other things. I'm not saying I'm through all of that, but I am saying that working on this game is helping me heal. All of this time away, though, has only reinforced why Twilight Explorers is so important to me, and I hope to you as well in time. The idea behind the game has always been to help players explore physical, mental, emotional, and even spiritual health through the mechanics. Not by eliminating escapism, but instead, much in the same way that Pokemon has always focused on friendship, perseverance, and pushing forward despite the odds. Trying to envision this and bringing it to life in the way that it deserves, all while battling the very demons I hope to help the player confront through gameplay, has both been a struggle beyond belief and, weirdly enough, the driving force behind it. I know that it won't interest everyone, but I hope it resonates with most of you. In fact, it's hard to quantify just how interwoven these concepts of my own journey and desire to overcome challenges are into the main story of the game, and I think that anyone who plays it, when it's properly finished and polished, will find it compelling enough to agree. I originally started this project because my son was heavily into Pokemon Sword at the time, and since then, I've rediscovered my love for games that I grew up playing. I've been able to share this with him and see how browsing Steam and PlayStation Store has netted me exactly 0 stylized, cozy open-world RPGs that have deeper gameplay that I can just sit and enjoy with him for hours on end. If I have found anything like it, it's probably Omega Crafters, and that's just a survival crafting game. It has a lot of value, but it's not exactly what I'm going for. So I set out to make what I felt was missing. To be honest though, most of the past few years have just been me learning and using this project to do that. I've been teaching myself how to 3D model, program with blueprints and C++, and plan from scratch. Believe it or not, I actually came from a writing background, publishing, marketing, things like that. And while game dev and art was always my dream, I've never really truly fully pursued it like I wanted to. I've also struggled with trying to maintain this facade as a professional indie game studio. But I've realized that if I keep doing that, I'll just quite honestly never release anything. Thanks, imposter syndrome. The idea that everything has to be fully articulated based on what's in my head and in my heart as a designer and storyteller, that's caused me to freeze up and hide. But the truth is, none of us are perfect. Nothing we create is perfect, and that's what makes it beautiful, right? This struggle, is precisely why I'm creating Twilight Explorers. I started this journey to include you as I go through that messy process, but to date I've largely failed at that, and I'm sorry. Starting today, I'm gonna change that. I'll be using the new Follow My Journey tab on my website at faithdrawn.com to post daily or weekly updates. If I miss a few, have a little grace. There's also a huge backlog of art and other content you can pick through as my apology to you, so enjoy. Today's video is more of a messy reconnection with you to show you that the project's not dead. It's honestly more alive than ever. Learning to deliver information in smaller snippets, though, is more manageable, and it keeps me from suffering from my perfectionism, so please look forward to more clear and understandable updates on Twilight Explorers, its gameplay, upcoming plans, and more in the near future. Anyone subscribed to my Patreon will gain access to the Combat Alpha, which means you'll get to walk around a half-broken game with rough graphics and see my imposter syndrome in full swing. Enticing, right? If you'd like to keep up to date with the game, though, the best way is to just check the website or join the Discord community where we can hang out and talk about things. Oh, and while the Steam page still features the older Hometown Hero logo for now, I'd love it if you just take a moment and wishlist Twilight Explorers. I'll be sure to swap out everything when I get the time, and maybe even someone with the right skill set can create a new logo and I can pay you for it. I don't know. So long as it fits the feel of the game, of course. Again, I'm moving towards a more rolling changes tweet-style chat with you about things as I create them, instead of these larger devlogs once a year. In fact, I'm thinking about breaking the next traditional devlog, air quotes devlog, into smaller videos on YouTube and releasing them staggered. Let me know if you like that. Thanks for sticking around, and know that I'll create games until the day I die. Retirement is just not an option for me, because I'm truly passionate about the characters, the world, the stories, everything that I'm creating. I've got a large backlog of ideas I've developed, like I said, over the last decade and a half, and I'm stoked to keep showing you how those come together in Twilight Explorers. Until now, the technical need to learn Unreal Engine, Blender, and more while working and raising my son and dealing with my own demons has been the holdup. But I'm more grateful than ever that you're still here. I love you all, and I'll see you soon.